Off air, and we're still off air. Now we're on air. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Justin from Swag, and today I'm going to be doing a live stream with members from the North America Buddy Fight Group. So on the line we have Jamel Martin. Say what's up.
What's up?
Khalil.
What's up?
I am Mario Torres. Okay, so he's here, but he's not here.
Oh, I think my mic was muted. Hold up.
But it took us so long because it's Khalil's fault. Khalil doesn't know how to use technology, apparently.
Fair enough.
I finally got to work though.
All right, so we're gonna start talking about regionals in Anaheim this past weekend. Mario, you can start it off.
All right. Well, Anaheim was pretty cool. The event was pretty. It was not that bad because they organized it because it was like the first like Dragonborn tournament or some crap like that, and it looked like they were doing pretty cool or pretty good time or job with it. And like that one wrestler, I think his name's like Kenny Omega or some shit, was there, and that was pretty cool. That he was like advertising the game and doing like signatures and all that shit day one. Vanguard Regionals is pretty irrelevant. Same thing with Luck and Logic. I should have joined that tournament, to be honest, because like that's a free trip to Japan. There's only like 7 people in that tournament. 3 people were me and my friends who actually just signed up just to get free deck boxes, and then apparently we just not went to the tournament, but we didn't know that there was a free trip to Japan, so we could have actually tried doing that. But Luck and Logic's pretty irrelevant since it's their last tournament. Vanguard went to day 2. Nothing too big, but day 2 on Buddy Fight, where shit got lit. Me and my friends were the first 3 players in the actual event. So I was actually player number 1. I didn't win first place because I'm fucking bad, but we were the first 3 players there. And overall, the things were okay. I think the judging was probably the worst thing. We had so many problems with judges that day. There's a lot. The biggest concern was death gauge timer because everybody kept missing the automatic ability, and judges weren't giving warnings or anything. Like in last round, in round 6, there is this kid who didn't use death gauge timer, and he get basically fast playing his opponent, and the judges were just like legit just staring at him at the table, and we're just like, they're trying to figure out what to do when the simple thing was just to give him a warning. But they literally just there's like 3 judges in that table, and they were legit just sitting there and staring at the match, like trying to figure out what the hell was going on and what to do. And so that pretty much kind of dragged on for the rest of the tournament in top 8 because we still had a very similar problem with people missing their automatic abilities and people getting warnings. I got into top 8. And opponent playing Black Knights had also missed a death gauge timer proc at the beginning. He tried doing it after his attacks, and he wasn't given a warning for it. But when I used removal voice and he didn't call out that he had dead invite after the thing has resolved, I got a warning for it. So I don't know what the fuck happened there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just siding with their friends, but that's pretty upsetting. And then we got into this is where shit really went down. So I don't want to like bash on Alex Jane because he's a cool guy, but in finals he is head judge and he was watching. So judges intervened in all plays in top 8. Like they're giving warnings to like, me and other people. And I don't know if other people misplayed, but I definitely know that they were giving me warnings, and they're intervening without me having to having my opponent or me say anything about what went wrong. But in finals against top 2, where Daniel played against, I think his name is Pete Navarro. Pete made 3 illegal plays and was not given a warning or anything at all. So his first misplay was he used Skillbinder, and for those of you who don't know Skillbinder, it's to pay 1 gauge, tap a double attack or a penetrate. Uh, he played that card against while tried tapping down Daniel, and after he realized Dark Kaizeran didn't have either of those keywords, he after he had paid the gauge showing hidden knowledge, he puts the gauge back and then puts the card back into his hand, and he wasn't given a warning or anything about that. Nothing happened. The judge Alex let him do it, and then second misplay or second illegal play was he sacked off Nightmare Cage to, I forgot what it was. I think it was like maybe a ritual or something. And he tried playing another cage right after. And then after he put down the cage, he picks it back up and says, "Oh, I'm resolving my cage that I used from sacking." So he had already played a card after and missed the timing, but once again, judge allowed it and didn't give any warnings or anything. Misplay, which was the misplay of the entire game, which was just literally him missing Death Gauge timer during its automatic ability, and judge didn't give him a warning. So there's 3 potential warnings there, which could have led to a DQ, but nothing happened. That's why I made a post saying that the first place wasn't justified, because it really wasn't. He did 3 illegal plays and wasn't given warnings or anything for it, and he still won because of it. So other than that, the people over there were pretty cool. I got to see Austin and everybody, Anthony, and like all that cool stuff. But that's about it.
Okay, so that's basically Anaheim in a nutshell. Misplays and bad judges, but bad judging has pretty much been the whole spiel for Bushiroad this year. So I think a lot, like after every event that we've had in North America, we had a lot of complaints on the North America group about Bushiroad judges either not knowing rulings or saying the incorrect ruling when asked.
Yeah.
Something that they're probably gonna they're gonna have to work on, or players aren't gonna want to play in their tournaments. Because I know like ARG does stuff. Yeah, ARG does tournaments but they only do Vanguard. So I don't know. As players, maybe it's time for us to start having our own regionals or like big tournaments, states tournaments. Because I mean, what do we get for winning a Bushiroad event anyway? A trip to Japan that's only for first place. That's right.
Yeah, second and third get.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even think third gets a trophy, but I know second does.
They do. Third gets one.
Okay, so fourth doesn't get a trophy.
You also get top 8
But that's it. Yeah, but my point is, like, I started playing Dragon Ball Super now too. It's not my main game. My main game is still Buddy Fight. But it's like in Dragon Ball Super, I've probably made about $400 to $500 just off of playing in tournaments in the last 2 weeks. Because it's like even just topping, you win so many promos, and the promos are like worth so much. It's easy to plus on the game. And it's like, I don't know, because ARG also does a lot of stuff, like a lot of prize giveaways and a lot of promotions and stuff. So it's like when you top, you feel like you actually earn something when you play. But it's like for Bushiroad, I mean, even though the tournaments are free, it's like it's nothing. I prefer to go to a tournament and pay an entry fee and get packed whatever on entry or for top, and then just get a mat or a deck box. Like, I really don't care about that kind of stuff personally, because I personally play for money. I don't play for recognition. I don't care who knows me or going places. Like, the Japan trip is nice, but it's only for first place. So it's like, what about the rest of the people that fought through 100+ players every event? Just like I fought through 100+ players to win this trophy and a mat that matters in this small group of people online.
Yeah. I mean, me personally,
I don't know. I like really more prize support to retain players, and not just Buddy Fight, but all Bushiroad games. Because it's like Dragonborn and Dragon Ball Super released around the same time. Dragon Ball Super skyrocketed while Dragonborn is being pushed really hard by Bushiroad and isn't really doing a lot.
Oh my god.
Dragon Ball Super is doing so well because like the fanboys. And then the tournament promos, like Bushiroad used to do tournament promos that were like randomized like 6 to 8 cards. So they covered a lot of worlds or a lot of clans. Now we all get a stack of promos that's for a month that a lot of people don't even play. So it's like most of the time the promos for the month, people don't even bat an eye at. And that's not helping people to want to go to locals. Because it's like I can probably look around my shop right now and I'd find a lot of promos from this past week of Buddy Fight and Vanguard because a lot of people just don't want them. Bring back mixed promos.
Send all your excess promos to me, man.
It's the Black Dragon on destruction of your cards. You get the Gauge one. I forgot what the more recent one is.
I wish some of those old promos.
Oh yeah, Black Dragons are meta, everybody.
Oh yeah, Black. I've seen. I was gonna ask you why were so many people playing. What is it called? Yeah, Death Gauge Timer.
Well, okay, so if you really want to know, just real quick, because I can briefly go over it. So, Black Dragons have been meta for like almost like since they got support with Evolution Mutation, but or not Evolution Mutation. My bad. It's not. Wait, no. Yeah, it is Evolution. Never mind. So they've been a really strong deck in Japan, but I mean, like a lot of people want to tell me when I go on the Japan rant, it's that they have a different tournament format versus our tournament format because like they have the 2 decks that they play with no sideboard, and then we have the best 2 out of 3 with sideboard, and I'm like. That doesn't determine what deck is good. Like a deck's good because it's good. Like right now, they're Chaos and Empire. Like they're 2 of their best decks too. But and same thing over here. So there's no really big difference. And Black Dragons are really good over there because they're the counter to those 2 decks. Like we have the biggest combo, which is Elgaud Zem7. Counter calling an Elgaud against the bots and then just popping it with Zem7 literally shuts down Overturn bots like in like a second. I played against bots and I got the good old combo where I get to call off the Elgaud on their turn on the bot's turn, and he had River Pain out and I just completely shut his deck down. He couldn't really do anything. I just outgrinded him, and the amount of advantage that Black Dragons can gain is absolutely absurd because you have like Obituary that makes that you just keep nuking cards in your hand while maintaining advantage for yourself. So the deck's been really good. It's just people in Anaheim actually just decided to play it.
Okay, that's good because I know we didn't have a lot of that stuff when we did our regional. That's why I played Purgatory.
We didn't have any. We didn't really have any at all. We had a Purgatory that was playing in Atlanta, but that was pretty much it.
Atlanta was kind of diverse. I don't see like a lot of different size Thunder Fang.
Yeah, your regional was earlier in the year, right?
Which one? You mean Indiana or you mean Atlanta?
Oh, you went to Atlanta as well?
Atlanta was right after. It was literally the same weekend the set Overturn came out.
Oh, okay.
Freaking Overturn.
Yo,
well, I mean, all right, Jamal, you sound like you want to say something about Overturn.
Overturn right now is a mistake. Overturn right now currently is a mistake until everybody gets to Overturn. That's all I'm saying. Unless you're Black Dragons, then you know you're fine.
I would say you're definitely.
I fought my first round in Atlanta Regionals was against that particular deck, and like the person playing me, I'm gonna put him out there, Michael Filler, and that dude is my dude. Like I couldn't have played any better, and he just looks like, man, dude, I'm sorry. This formation is just, bruh. Take these 12 attacks and free 20 damage.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I couldn't even get mad at him. I'm still not to this day. It's just this deck is the overturns are Let every other world get on the same playing field. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I mean,
They need to
overturn
hurry up and get to that.
overturn was just extremely disgusting. Like round 3, I played against Brandon Ormars, or however you say his last name, and I was playing Neil's Y, and like there was a turn where I went from 20 to 1. I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
that is. There was one game I went. One game. There was one game I actually survived the overturn, and it was only because 6 out of 7 of my cards in my hand. I mean, no, 5 out of 7 of my cards in my hand were shields. That was it. That was the only reason, and he couldn't impact me that turn.
Oh,
but then, like I have like a hand of nothing.
I got a question from one of the watchers. So I guess I'll give this one to Mario. Is overturn breaking the meta?
So my thoughts on overturn. When I first saw it, I was like, all right, well, this is just going to be the unhealthiest piece of shit for the game. And everybody knew it was going to be pretty overpowered. And yeah, I agree it is. I think the decks without overturn and overkill just completely get smashed by it. But I don't think it's the reason to say the game has gone full on power creep. We haven't had a meta like this in a while. Like we've had Neo's Y being like one of the prime rush decks, and like way back, like Kaiserion being like the best like rush deck, and but we've never had like a full on hard ass rush meta, and I think people just kind of over exaggerate because I mean you just have to wait like a set or two, and then everything will be kind of fine. Like we've already seen in the next set, we're gonna turn pretty much literally stopping any aggro deck that could ever exist. It changes all aggro decks into forced to being able to play around his overturn. So I mean, they Chaos and bots got one set where where they get to use like their super rush overturns, but one set later here we're gonna be and we're gonna have a Thura. So I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I just don't like overturn / overkill. Once per game kind of effects are really obnoxious, kind of like GX and or I think is it GX in Pokemon? Is that what they are?
Yeah,
it's GX.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like attacks like those personally, and I feel like once we get to the end of the season, I feel like they're gonna make some really stupid ass card for specifically Empire and Chaos that literally lets you reuse overturn and overkill, and I'm still gonna stick to that mindset because I feel like they're gonna do it, knowing their card design.
Yeah, and this is unnatural because usually the main antagonist and protagonist decks aren't even good until the end of the season, and here we are, like I guess mid-season, and it's like those decks are freaking scary.
Yeah.
Overkill.
I'll say this to add in. I think what's crazier now is just the dispersion of support has been. It's not. I mean, obviously, some worlds are definitely getting it good and better than others, or certain flags per se. I mean, when Thunder Emperor Fang kind of hit the scene, now it's like with really good support on top of the Thunder Empire support that's already out. Same with Chaos, and both of those decks were really good out the gate. It would be good to see. I mean, they're starting to already kind of. They notice the aggression, and they're already, Aldo Thoro and things like that are kind of taken away from it. It's like Kaiserion. The second Kaiserion came out, we had a month of like good times, and then barbed wire came.
One thing I would had to happen is that Bushiroad has always done power creep. That's like the problem right now is that a lot of the decks that got power creep are the expensive decks, so a lot of people aren't playing them. So they're upset that the power creep exists now, where it's like when I first started playing the game, the worst deck in the meta to play was Dungeon World. Dungeon Mix was like unbelievably like unbeatable. The only deck that could play against it was Thunder Knights at the time. So it was like we were in like a 2-deck meta. Not a lot of things could do anything to either one of those decks. But it's like at the time nobody had a problem with it because Dungeon World decks didn't cost a lot to make.
No,
So
you
now,
had a
like
trial
now,
deck, a couple of cards, and there you were.
yeah, a lot of people have a problem with the power creep now because it's expensive. Because it takes like 3 or 4 secret packs just to play the damn deck. So people are upset when you lose to something that you can't even afford, or not even can't even afford. You can't attain the cards because they're all secret pack cards.
Yeah, and that's more of a problem with our market, and I think that's just going to be an ongoing discussion until like they legitimately fix it. But since we only have like 1 to 2 waves of actual times to get cards like on release, like if you don't get anywhere into those 1 to 2 waves, you're never going to see those cards again. And I mean that's just like I said, it's just the market overall for our game. It's been really bad with with secret packs lately, but I hope it improves at some time.
One
You
can
would
only
think
hope.
that the frequency of secret packs would have made it better because I mean, if this is like the 100 series. You know how like secret packs where you got what 3 a case. Now it's
Yeah,
like you get one every box, and the values of them haven't really. I mean, they went down a little bit, but they're still like secret packs when they first came out. They were like 40 to 50 for the pack, and you still needed 4 of them on top of chaos. I hate that as an example because like most of the deck was like triple rare and stuff out the gate. So like just you had to if you didn't have that window of opportunity in the first like 2 weeks, you had to pretty much wait until a whole deck was being sold. And then by
hmm
then you had the money to shell out for it. That's kind of the downside currently. It almost reminds me a bit of when the decks like that started to get expensive, like during Aster time. Had expensive like Jack had expensive cards coming into it, and then like secret packs. That was like a $400 deck almost just out the gate to be meta for like a good little while.
Yeah, but it was meta, but you didn't have as many people playing it because again, it was a secret pack deck. So it's like we had a lot of people topping with it, but we didn't see a tournament where it's like half of the decks were asked there because it was impossible. Couldn't even find the cards. But
The only
hold on, we have what is it called? A few questions. The first one is what are your thoughts for Legend World post Rainbow Striker? So have you
I'm
got
curious.
for that?
Wait, what was the
I
question?
think
Sorry, Kalo just said that that his
What are your,
computer froze.
yeah, what are your
God damn it.
thoughts for the Legend World post Rainbow Striker?
Is that the
So
next
after
set?
Striker, yeah,
When do you get the swords?
yeah, the
So swords look pretty cool, yeah.
Unlimited Blade works. So it's
yeah.
cool. So it's getting around a lot of stuff too. I think it's kind of gross. Legend World in general, I think it's a good buff. Um, I like the Leviathan K-Setsu's deck. I definitely like his deck mainly out of all the stuff I've seen so far. Because right now there's a whole lot of anti-monster things, and the fact that it's a no monster deck, you get around a lot of it. I'm curious with Asgard because right now they're showing a lot more stuff for that, and seeing does that shape up into something pretty solid. Um, Trust me, I'm looking at the releases just like everyone else, and just kind of making my ideas as they come through. I'm hoping right now with I just want to see a little bit more stuff fleshed out. I know we're getting stuff as they come, but those are like the 2 particular decks that I'm seeing. It looks like the most promising or most I'm the most intrigued from them right now.
Okay. The next question we have is even if you give overturn to everyone or overkill, will that even help? And I'm going to say no, because even if you give everything overturn and overkill, everything will not be good. So some overturns and overkills are going to just be better than others. But if everything got overturned and overkill, then at least people would stop bitching. And
I mean, right now you
that's
can
the
already
only
see
thing that
certain overturns are
that's the
better
only
than
thing that
others.
then
Everything hasn't even come out yet, and some overturns are just clearly better.
Mhm.
oh
They're not all going to be made equal. No, all overturns are created equal.
I think if your deck has even access to overturn or overkill, you're not as you're not in that big ass disadvantage that you've always been in before when you didn't. So I mean, you can. It's not gonna necessarily fully. It's not gonna make your deck like your tier 2 deck shoot up to tier 1 unless it's absolutely that broken. Because if you're tier 2 deck, you're probably gonna get like some jank ass overturn overkill. But I mean, the fact that you still have one and you get to actually use it is what actually matters. So I mean, it's just gonna stop the bitching pretty much. Your deck won't jump to tier 1 unless you're some like rogue ass deck that actually gets like a really good overturn. But you won't be sitting there in a game where you can't do it unless you like die or something. But you just having access to it is always good. So I think just with the addition to every deck. Hey, look, Khalil's back. He improvising a gas kid.
Burn what brought me back.
All right. Mario, the next question is directed at you. What are your thoughts on Black Dragons getting wrecked by a generic card?
So that new generic card, that one's pretty spicy. I don't know if you guys saw, but basically, the most relevant part of the spell is you choose a on your opponent's field, and you specifically put them to the bottom of your bottom of their deck. So that means it bypasses like your Annihilation Abbey and like Gale Hawken and stuff like that. Its second effect is counter. It gets minus 2k power, minus 1 crit, but that's not what we're worried about here. So personally, I don't know what Black Dragons are gonna become after this. I don't think it's that big of a problem because the most of the time the set spells that Black Dragons have ever left out on the field is either like Execution Ground and what is it? I'm thinking of one more, but I can't like name. Oh, Dead Invite. So I mean, it gives a lot of decks like Oni Assassins an actual window to play the game and bypass all of our protection. So I don't know what the future of Black Dragons will be. I think we're still going to be fine as a deck. I think if anything, we're going to be shot down to tier 1.5. But with any like future support, as of now, I still don't think we're going to be like. I still think we're going to be a pretty dominant deck because we still have response timings to kill our own stuff. Like if you want to put back our Nightmare Cage or our Obituary that we had left sitting on the field, we still have stuff like Gale Impulse that could do that stuff in response. So we can still make the most out of our cards. Defending my own deck here, but as of now, I don't think it's too big of a problem, but it definitely can be in the future. I'm just not too sure. It's just kind of speculation from this point on right now. Really good. It bypasses a lot of stuff.
All right. Then the next question was, are there any anti-meta decks? And yes, of course there are. Black Dragons are anti-meta. Legend World will be anti-meta.
Oh yeah, Toilets are a pretty good anti-meta deck. That's a really long deck. Toilets are the pretty great deck. My friend played Toilets in tournament, and I'm not gonna lie, we had a scumbag plan for him. It was to win game 1 and then keep stalling out with like Menjo Loop into time. It's a pretty dirty way to win, but it was really funny to see opponents get really upset. Toilets best deck.
That deck is gross.
Dude, we had so many Benjo players there. We had like 4 of those, and I was only expecting like 1, but man, we had Benjo players.
How did they do?
None at all.
I don't like that.
Mario, you heard me?
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, I haven't even played against it. Could you explain like what it does? Is it like a complete board wipe and burn damage?
So
if you go first, they play solitaire for like they play solitaire until
pretty much. Benjo is a solitaire deck. They get one Benjo impact off, and they just like you just pretty much lose. That's like literally the deck. If you can't respond to the Menjo impact or to their normal Menjo, you just might as well just scoop it up because they're just gonna go on basically like an almost infinite loop of retaking turns and just FTKing you basically. So
so it's like one turn that takes your turn. Okay, sounds cool. Have any of you guys looked at the next set stuff? Because I know I personally don't follow spoilers for anything anymore.
Like right now, fire.
New
Next,
decks.
Like I know
I've been looking
Thor
at the all weapon
actually
one.
really good again.
Oh yeah,
But
Thor's.
I don't. Oh my gosh. Okay, one thing I do want to point out is look, a Thor does not force Demios to use his skill to attack a Thor
Oh
more
my
times.
god! When people
You're
started
right.
saying that, I lost my shit.
Man,
That had me
man,
yeah.
I was getting so mad. Me off, man.
I was
Like,
just
come
weak
on now.
because
And
I
if
was like,
Khalil
wow,
gets paid, you know it's
y'all give Thor way too much credit. He's not gonna.
How stupid can you be?
Thor cannot make Demios force sack respan. Like, come on,
Thor
man.
is
don't y'all-
overturned literally
And
makes
don't y'all
it
tell
forces
me
you
y'all
to
need
play the game.
official rulings from Bushiroad. No, y'all don't. Y'all know damn well Demios and Thor. Y'all know how that happens. If y'all don't, y'all shouldn't play Buddy Fight. That's all I'm saying.
Shit.
Khalil hasn't talked much, but that was probably the best thing you could have said all stream.
Oh boy.
Shame on y'all. Shame yourself.
Go ahead, man.
Oh my god. Yeah, people are pretty funny with that stuff.
Done with that stuff.
It's like, bro, but you got to look at it this way. It says he has to attack as many times as possible, but he has stuff on the field to sack. So that means he has to use his skill. No, guys, no.
And somebody
I
else.
was like,
my
you guys
God.
be creative. with
What
your
decks
stories.
FTK? What decks can FTK? A lot of decks can first turn kill.
What?
They're going to
So
stack.
there's two main decks that can actually FTK. And before any of you guys say that retaking a turn isn't an FTK, I'm gonna punch you guys all in the throat because it pretty much is an FTK. If you don't allow your opponent to play on the first turn of the freaking game, it's an FTK. So search your damn mouse if you're retaking turn. Is an FTK deck. You restart like 50 turns and you kill them. Another FTK deck is
playing solitaire. It's solitaire. That's FTK.
Yeah, pretty much. And the only other FTK deck that's actually good is well, not good but playable is that new basically it's like overturn puppets. It uses Abigail's overturn with the stupid ass cards or whatever. Because like the combo is you million edge them so they have a card in drop, and then you use that size 0 to make them have a 6/2/6 in their center, and then you just puppet them to death, and then you overturn with Abigail to get another turn. And since those don't count as attacks, you can still attack with Abigail, and it's an FTK.
Done that. It's funny.
I hate that shit. By the way, just putting that out there.
Well, it's
I was on the
I
receiving
want to
end
play it
of
really
that.
bad.
I was on the receiving end of that. That shit was not funny to me.
I mean,
I hate it.
Like, overturn Abigail, they're about like 17 each. I think that's the most expensive cards in the deck. But it's like everything else for that is relatively cheap.
Yeah, it's a pretty good budget deck.
Pretty annoying budget deck.
Oh, I know what we could talk about. We could talk about that new deck that's coming out. It's basically like mini Gear God the deck. That deck looks really, really cute. I like it. It's literally just all size 3 little baby ass gadget copying Gear Gods. It's like you got blue Gear God, you got green Gear God, you got purple Gear God, and you got I think what yellow? Yeah, yellow. And then red Gear God. This deck looks really fun.
Yeah,
I hope it's like a deck full of fucking commons.
Yeah, I think it's a combo heavy deck, but I don't know on the rarity. Like, but knowing Bushiroad, like all of those damn cards could be like secret pack cards or something.
Yeah, I
don't
hope
jinx it, Justin. Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it. Really fun budget deck, like the best deck in the game, hands down. Mummies.
Oh yeah, Mummy's got a huge boost. That counter destruction spell. And then
I also got that new size one that's like revive another one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like dead invite.
Fuck mummies.
Yeah, mummies are good. What are they like? $20 deck.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
know what? You know
It's
what?
like a $30 annoying deck.
I just bought it for $20 from somebody actually.
I wish Bushi would make all of the like really stupid decks really good. Like what is it? Like they already did ghosts with toilets. They did mummies. I wish they do old zombies and make him good. Just make him stupid broken. So we'll have all of the monster decks. Good. And yes, Austin Dungeon World is gonna get good. It's gonna get broken. I feel like because of how Bushi messed up like in the beginning, that they're probably never gonna make Dungeon World as broken as it was. The pipe dream.
No, I think it's just literally after Austin won Worlds, they were like, all right, no more good dungeon support. We can't have Austin doing this garbage again. It's a legit hit on. It's a hit towards Austin.
Dude, it's crazy. It's sometimes I feel like they actually watch the page and see what people were complaining about.
I think they do.
I agree.
Sometimes their answers.
That's one thing I do like
about
Buddy Fight is how they pay attention to our meta. Like we had Zeta Loop legal for like in the game for like 2 fucking days, and they're just
and then it was gone. And then when we had that slow ass meta with only assassins and a Thor, that was like gone by next set.
Remember when we had the infinite draw with wizards that got busted in a day.
Yep.
Like they pay attention to that stuff a lot, and most of the time, like you'll see us complain about something. Like I'm gonna bring up the Kazarian thing again. The next card they revealed was how we're gonna stop that boy right there. We got you. Say no more.
They actually have a really good theme of stopping really like dominant decks with just small ass generic cards, short print generic cards. If I can say like. I think the only one that wasn't really short printed was Sharpness Field. Like you get a pretty good quantity of those in like a case, but Sharpness Field is made to counter 72 pillars after them being so dominant, and it low key hit Guardians for no reason, even though that deck did nothing.
Dude, or like even what is it, Thunder Knights before they could get there again, like they hit all the cards that bounce. They made them once per turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like force return, all of that shit got hit. I was like, damn, I was running all of this going.
Get that shit out of here.
That ripped Blue Sky Knight so hard though too. Yeah. It was like, yo, bro, I'm going to 30 life from 10.
Oh man, that deck used to tilt the shit out of me.
Yeah, the Blue Sky Knights.
I played it on area one time. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. You know, I know the game life, and then they started at 10 and they were at like 29. I'm like, yo, what? I haven't even done anything yet.
I was playing Blue Sky Knights. It was like the most annoying thing ever. It's like, hey, I'm finna gain life, but I'm not really finna kill you. I'm just finna just irritate you until you concede. And
who's that person at your locals? I'm gonna come over there and just punch him in the throat.
Antonio Wilson. That's right. I'm dropping names.
Antonio Wilson selling stuff in the group.
Oh.
Yo, don't snitch on your boy. Don't snitch on him.
Yeah, you already snitched on your boy.
I already snitched on him. He'll be proud of me because he wants
gave out his government.
to like spread it.
Yo,
he took that to
see him under these.
Ohio.
Damn.
Yeah. But, we're dragging a little bit, so I'm going to end the stream there. I want to thank you for participating, Khalil, Mario, with your wisdom, Jamal.
Late night with Jamal. Fuck you, there's so many mosquitoes. I don't know.
And hold on, one last question before we get off. Somebody's asking straight up legit question. Speaking of buddy area, how reasonable is it to test there? Well, I will speak on it. Buddy area is somewhere where you should test decks and just see if you want to play the deck or not whether you want to spend your money on it, because a lot of the players on Buddy Fight area are bad, or they're also playing test decks, so you won't get proper tests out of your decks unless you're playing somebody that you know and you know that they're good for sure. But it's like it's probably like a 20 to 30% chance that you'll actually play somebody good that's also playing a meta deck on Buddy Fight area.
Just play with friends. Don't play with any other randoms. Randoms are like legit autistic. Don't do it.
So take playing on Buddy Fight area with a grain of salt.
I definitely third play with friends, because there'll be some people on there. Lord have mercy. There's nothing to control them from making bad plays. So when they don't know how cards work,
or
you're like, hold on,
explain play timings and all of that. Like, it's not worth the headache. You're not going to learn.
But as far as like testing out
something in practice,
test the deck, play with buddies. I mean, test the deck, play with buddies. You want to get a deck, and then there you go. That's all I use.
It's like the rage of talking to someone who's stupid. It's not worth it.
Yeah, you hear that? That's coming from Khalil. He said it's like talking to
facts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lovable guy. There's only like one real person I don't agree with in this world, and Justin and Jim already know who that person is, but that goes without saying. Anywho, it's just like to argue with someone, and there's like no way to like actually stop them from doing bad plays is absolutely frustrating. Like, oh well, I mean, it works like this, and now they play at your locals. Man, fuck your locals. Your locals trash.
Yo, this stream is rated R.
Hella shots fired.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm not worth the headache. Like true story. I was playing before I even played Bushiroad games. Dueling Network. It was like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Online. And I'm arguing with ruling. So I'm like, let's exit the game. Like, what's Vanguard? Whole career on Bushiroad. Just dealing with people who don't know what they're doing. Play with friends.
Well, you have to argue about less rulings in Buddy Fight than you would in Yu-Gi-Oh! Any day. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! is just woo. But we're going to end it there. Anybody have any closing remarks? Closing.
Just from the beginning, like they said, I really wish we had better judges. So anyone who's watching from Bushiroad, please get better judges. I mean, low key, y'all pay them now. So I mean,
no, I mean, let me talk about the payment, because I stopped judging because of the payment. Like, I do not want to be paid $100 a day to judge. Like, that's BS. I prefer to get promos and boxes of cards or something else like relative, because it's like $100 a day for me. It's fucking nothing. It's like a drop in the bucket. Like, the money is like, that's why a lot of people aren't judging, and they're getting random judges literally off the street that don't know what they're talking about, because they're just paying people that are getting players and paying us in boxes and promos like they used to. If Bushi was giving out 2 to 3 boxes for judging, I do it. Boom.
Like true story about that whole, they just find random people, especially in the Midwest region. There's a judge named Richard. He only knows Vanguard. They keep putting him on Buddy Fight. And he walks up to me like, Khalil, what the hell am I doing here? There's already one judge that doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. I know New York is terrible. It's really bad.
Oh my God, the miss. New York miss rulings are legendary now.
No, wait, Jimmel. Okay.
Like, dude,
you might be right.
They started recruiting players out of the tournament to judge in this past regional or Albany. That's how bad it was. That's how undersupported it was.
New York's misjudgings are legendary. Like, every event you hear about like 5 things, you're just like, bruh. Like, common knowledge, we know about this. The one that killed me the most was when you are attacked, meant you could protect your monsters, so people were able to shield with shit that they shouldn't. All right. Well, damn. Let me find out I've been playing the game wrong.
Wait. So Jimmel, you didn't see that ruling in top 8 Atlanta? So I personally didn't see this, but countless witnesses walked up to me saying, that demon lord jackknife that says, when this card attacks, if you got 2 more cards in the soul,
he gets double attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the girl who got second in Atlanta, she was entering battle, and Mark from Team Plays for Days blew up the jacks. Only had 1 soul, and she said, "Well, it still gets double attack." When on the card, let's say that. So Mark called a judge, and the judge said, "Oh yeah, it still gets double attack."
Oh my gosh, that's enough to make somebody quit.
Holy shit! Can't
let
even
that
read
my
the
top 8
fucking
game.
card properly.
Like, let that would have been my top 8.
Oh my
game.
god.
There would have been no Atlanta Regional. like I wasn't even playing and that blew me. I'm like, all that judge had to do was fucking.
Oh, look at the cards. Yo, reading is so hard
to catch these hands, dude.
Boy,
to be mad at the girl for trying to slide that bullshit, for the judge for letting that bullshit happen, or for Mark for letting that just happen to him.
Oh my gosh.
All of them dropped the ball, in my personal opinion.
Did he at least take it to the head judge?
What?
Did he take it to the head judge when he? No,
what's it called? He let this one random judge I never seen a day in my life just be like, "Oh no, it's like this." He's like, "Oh well, okay. I mean, I've been playing this game for like 3 times longer than you, but you're the judge. You know better."
No, no, bruh.
Like,
oh my gosh, I can't. All right, guys. People watching, please, if you're unsure on a ruling or you're for certain that you're correct, and a judge gives you an incorrect ruling, please take it to the head judge, because a lot of times these judges don't know what they're talking about. They really don't. And we have so many issues with it. Like, people complain about it after every event. Like, when in doubt, or when you're not sure, even if you need clarity, take it to the head judge. Ask for the
when
head
in
judge.
doubt, call a judge out. That's all you gotta do. When
please
in doubt, call a
take
judge
it to your head judge.
Yeah, fuck head judge. You didn't help anyways. Fuck that shit.
Oh my gosh. Mario, stop it.
All right,
like one
all
of
right,
my
guys.
local guys. Stop it, Mario.
All right, guys, but my shop has to close up, so I gotta clean up.
Oh, and somebody says here, what happens if the head judge is wrong? Well, if the head judge is wrong, you're definitely screwed.
Just start posting your cards up online and quitting the game.
The head judge is wrong. Well, boys,
if the head judge is wrong, you gotta prove him wrong. You gotta go on like that Japanese Q&A and you prove his ass wrong.
Yeah. And if he's stuck on his side, he's still going to stick to his ruling. So that's how those things go.
If the head judge is wrong, you take his badge.
When in doubt, catch these hands.
You take his shirt, you take his badge, you the head judge now.
All right. I'm ending the stream there. All right. Thanks for everybody that watched and everybody that will watch. Good luck in your tournaments if you're going to Worlds in Japan in January. And peace.
Good luck, boys.